A year ago today, one of my cousins passed away. I'm posting this video because I want to share a song that I wrote in his memory. The song is called Home. The lyrics are inspired by him. He was a clown. Everyone in my family is a bit of a clown, me included. It may not seem that way from this, but he was a real clown, though. He was a goof. He was a practical joker. He oftentimes took on the role of buffoon, and he loved to sing. He loved to just help everyone enjoy their time. Everyone have a good time, and he loved to share time with them. He did some really weird, goofy things. My brother told a story at the memorial about him. They were living in the same city. They met up to hang out, and they went out for lunch, and then they were looking for something to do, and my cousin invited my brother to play soda pop baseball, which is a game where you replace the baseball with cans of soda pop and you hit them with a bat and hope for the best. My cousin, his sister, she told me a story about one of the practical jokes that he was very fond of, which was taking snap pops, the firecrackers that you throw at the ground and they pop, taking those and putting a bunch of them under a toilet seat and taping them there so that when the next person sits down on that toilet seat, they're in for a surprise. Another story that I remember, I think I was maybe 7 or so, but my cousin and one of my other brothers were very fascinated with fireworks. In New Mexico at that time, we were able to purchase fireworks. And when I say we, I mean that fireworks stands would sell to kids. They were a couple years older than me, so I think they were early teens or something. They went out and bought some Roman candles. Roman candles shoot like a ball of fire, and they shoot like 10 of them. They took some old mailing tubes and some glass Gatorade bottles back when they sold Gatorade in glass bottles, and they put the bottles in the end of the mailing tubes and taped them up with some duct tape, and then they put the Roman candles in the ends and they fired them at each other. And I remember watching this happen, and I was terrified and just in awe of the heroics of these two early teens just doing some really boneheaded stuff. Don't try that at home. Don't try it anywhere, because something will catch fire. So these were some of the hijinks that happened. We also would gather in the mountains in New Mexico in an area called Sapeo. We would have family reunions out there towards the end of the parties. They had this like ATV kind of thing called a mule, and it was kind of a golf cart thing, and there was a bed on the back, like a truck bed. So all of us would pile on that, and we would drive through the mountains there on this windy dirt road, and we would start singing songs that our grandfather would sing at family reunions. Minnie the Moocher, Oh Susanna, and then we would sing She'll Be Coming Round the Mountain. The person who would lead this was my cousin who passed. He was kind of the party. Yeah, he was a clown, but he was also kind of philosophical. He was kind of like one of those Shakespearean clowns that's like always there with some hijinks, but also always there with like the wittiest thing to say in the whole show, and witty in a deep, introspective, like profound statement about life. He was a poet as well. He wrote haikus, and the song includes some of his lines and a statement that he would always make at the end of a party after we'd gone out on that mule and after my aunt and uncle had declared that the party was over. He would have to declare the party was over in his own words. And he would say at the top of his lungs in the middle of the room, kind of like he was in the middle of a Viking mead hall. And he would even take on that kind of voice. I remember him doing this on a couple of occasions. But he would say, "Someday we'll all get together again, and it will be silly and ridiculous, and our sides will hurt from laughing, and our faces will hurt from smiling, and it will be glorious." And he would give a big laugh, and we would all do a cheers to that. And so the last time I saw him was in 2019, out at one of those family reunions in New Mexico, and I only had a minute or so, maybe 5 minutes to talk with him, and we shared what we were up to. I said hello, and he asked me what I was up to and how I was doing, and I kind of recounted all of these accomplishments and all of these gigs that I was doing, all of these choirs that I was singing with, all of the things I was pursuing, like practicing piano, taking classes, and working towards auditioning for graduate programs. And then I asked him how he was doing, and he told me that he was happy. He told me that he was disturbingly happy, that he was happy in his life. He was happy that he was able to see his family so much. He was overjoyed with his marriage to his wife. They had gotten married not too long before the reunion. He was happy with his dog and his wife's dog. These scrappy, wiry-haired terrier mix things that they were just these gnarly-looking creatures, and he loved them, and they loved them, and they cared for them together. He said that he had not had grand ambitions for his life, but he found himself in a place where he knew great joy. I wanted in this song to incorporate some of those things that he said in that conversation, and some of the things he said in his haikus and in that statement that he would make. He understood things I'm still trying to understand. He knew how to live in the moment. He knew how to laugh. He knew how to make people laugh. And he didn't do it for attention. He did it because he wanted to make people laugh, because he knew the importance of it. He knew the importance of experiencing the beauty of this world, the beauty of other people, the beauty of gathering with other people. So this song is my reflection on him. I'm posting this here because there's so much that's happened lately that's made me think about the concept of home and what happens when we lose our home, and where does home exist. And you probably notice here that I'm in a new space. I had to move from my home in the last couple of months because of circumstances beyond my control. And I'm going to have to move again because of my ambitions, because of those graduate school auditions that I finally did, and I got accepted, and I got funding, and I'm going to school. The horrible catastrophe and tragedy of the wildfires that are tearing apart the place I grew up in, the wilderness, that place in New Mexico where my family used to gather, all the places where my other family members have lived, a place where my grandparents owned a motel, places where we'd go camping, places where we'd go to live our lives, to experience the beauty of nature. I've been thinking about that a lot, and I wanted to share something that would express some of that, and the only thing I could think of was this song. Though it was written for my cousin, I feel like it's relevant to much of what I'm feeling now. And I feel like the things that he said in that last conversation and in some of his haikus, that really speaks to what home is. So this song is called Home. I recorded it back in September, I believe. I had intended to use my fancy bee's knees Chalice microphone, which is a tube mic. I had set that up, but there was something, I think it had to do with the power at my old apartment. So there was a lot of hissing sound on the recording with that. But luckily I had also set up my phone to capture the video, and I used the Rode Videomicro. So the audio isn't the best that it could be, but it's all right. I hope you enjoy this song. Thanks for watching.
I've seen so many wild, wild places, oceans and wastelands, mountains and plains, from California to New York State, from Santa Fe to Tryon Creek, but home is the smile on your face, the breath that you take, and every laugh that you shared with me. When the rain comes down, we'll seek out shelter, higher ground to wait out the storm. There's a levee around against the waters, and hope that we can weather it alone. I felt joy and I felt sorrow. I've longed for yesterdays and I've dreaded tomorrows, but words cannot summarize the feeling that is left, the feeling of goodbye. There's an ache from my feet to my brain, like a phantom pain, like part of me is missing. My ears are ringing with the echo of your voice, coming around the mountains, singing all the songs we used to sing. I've got time, I've got all the time in the world. One transitory circumstance that soon will be gone. What good is time spent trying to become someone, some stranger from the future, some master of it all? All plans are subject to change. All things go. It's a pleasure just to be, to breathe in this moment, to smile until it hurts, and then laugh until it hurts again. When the flood comes down, we'll seek out a shelter, higher ground to wait out the storm.